compromised. Do not repeat. Not board. This is Starfield on the Starfield Oracle. We are experiencing anomalous readings. Member crew have been compromised. Do not. Repeat. Not board. This is Starfield on the Starfield Oracle. We are experiencing anomalous readings. Member crew have been compromised. Do not repeat. Not board.
I cannot give up. Hold on. You are strong. Concentrate.
I'm trying, Surak, but it's getting worse. I can feel my mind slipping. Fragmented. I'll become one of them. You have to get away from me.
No, I will not leave you here.
It's pointless. We share this fate. This is our end. The great. No.
I certainly prefer the ship's climate control to this ridiculous heat.
I can't stop it.
What happened? Who did this? I see no one, and yet I can feel a presence. But how? I should be the last. Is someone there, or... My mind turns against me. I must return to engine. One must attempt to restore the power.
Might as well take what we can.
Post-incident log. Something has gone horribly wrong. We were in orbit directly above Dasra, monitoring our current experiments when we experienced a sudden energy surge. I fear the source came from the city itself. It triggered our grav drive and jumped the Oracle to an unknown location. We thought members of the crew were somehow lost in the jump. But later, we were attacked by what I will refer to as Vortex Phantoms. I thought I recognized some of them. Could it be that the energy surge has somehow transformed them and warped their minds?
communal sleeping area. Not much in terms of privacy now, is it?
Vessel. Post-incident log. The Oracle has continued to jump. It is completely out of our control. Not only that, but I believe the initial surge of energy we experienced is transformative. With each passing day, more of the crew succumb to whatever residual energy we were exposed to. Most are instantly hostile, but we discovered some are able to retain a sense of self. At least, momentarily.
Well, I suppose they're not going to need... it anymore. weapons or ammo.
Vital. Post-incident log. After the initial jump, areas of the Oracle have somehow been sectioned off by strange energy fields or barriers. The fields allow no one to pass and are somehow able to repel, almost teleport, the trespasser back. I am certain these new fields are related to the Vortex Phantoms. Both resonate with the same energy pattern. The exact same pattern we were studying for Anasco's experiments. Something happened in Dasra. And if the situation is bad here, I fear for our brethren in the city.
Power cells dislodged in the last jump. The gravity. Restoring the gravity may pull the cell into place. If I can get to the control room, if I can No! They are coming!
Sirach Vetal. Post-incident log. After the initial jump, areas of the Oracle have somehow been sectioned off by strange energy fields or barriers. The fields allow no one to pass and are somehow able to repel, almost teleport, the trespasser
Anything
back.
valuable?
I am certain these new fields are related to the vortex front. Both resonate with the same energy pattern. The exact same pattern we were studying for Anasco's experiments. Something happened in Dasra. And if the situation is bad here, I fear for our brethren in the city.
One of the power cells dislodged in the last jump. The gravity. Restoring the gravity may pull the cell into place. If I can get to the control room, if I can No! They are coming! One of the power cells dislodged in the last jump. The gravity. Restoring the gravity may pull the cell into place. If I can get to the control room, if I can No! They are coming!
Sirach Vetal. Post-incident log. I am one of the few remaining unaffected crew on the Oracle. Nadine, Basira, and Taras are the only others I was able to find. I fear it is just a matter of time before we succumb to this energy that is turning the others. How long will we last? And will my mind be strong enough to hold out when my time comes? Basira and I have programmed the Oracle to return to Varun Kai's orbit once it is able. All of our research will automatically be transmitted the moment we are within Dasra's range. I pray our work here was not in vain.
damn controls! Why would they not respond to me? Work, damn you!
Warning. Gravity procedure initiated. Please check your surroundings to ensure personal safety. Restoring gravity in 3, 2, 1. Power cell connected. Report to operations for system reboot.
The Vortex Phantoms. Where did they go? Something is wrong. No! Not now! I have to hold on!
Don't leave any of that behind.
Mainframe reboot initiated. Commencing protocol. Station lockdown completed. All major systems on standby. Mainframe reboot completed. Warning. Station jump procedure initiated. Please check your surroundings to ensure personal safety. Jump in 3, 2, 1. Execute. Jump completed. Station lockdown released. Initiating data transfer. Incoming transmission.
This is Dasra calling the Oracle station. We've received your transmission. Your orders are to send a representative down here immediately. It appears we have much to discuss.
Sirac held out as long as they could. It's unfortunate they couldn't live to see this. isn't the same as the real thing.
Hold very still, and choose your words carefully. They will determine how long you live.
Let's all just take a moment. I assure you, we mean you no harm.
You have no right to be here. You will tell me how you found this place. But it was lost. All communication ceased. There was no sign of it.
Indeed it did. The Oracle is perhaps the least of our problems, I'm afraid. Voris, I think we need not fear our guest. Perhaps, in this time of need, the Great Serpent has delivered us a gift.
Counselor, with due respect, we have not had unannounced visitors here in generations. It is a clear breach of security.
I do not disagree, and I know that security, in whatever small form we can grasp it, is of paramount importance. But you must acknowledge the timing is curious. And perhaps our guest's intent should be determined before we take further action. We received the automated transmission, but you are certainly not who we expected to find.
Great Serpent,
It's happening again.
hear me.
Speaker, we are here!
We have reached out to you to seek guidance in our hour of need. The gate in the Citadel has been opened just to seek you.
It's like what we saw on the station.
Have I failed you? What is this place? Where am I? Why do you not show yourself? I strive only to follow your command. All must serve. Please, do not leave me in darkness. I seek only your wisdom, your guidance. Oh, Great Serpent, is that you? Is it your presence I feel? I feel something, yet I see nothing. Is this a test? What do you require of me? Great Serpent, I have done all that I can. The Scaled Citadel itself has been transformed to petition you. I know that all must serve, but I need more. I require guidance. Take pity on us and reveal the way forward.
It cannot be coincidence that you arrive here now. Our leader, Anasko Varun, he has appeared like this over and over. So many of our people have been trapped in this state, these vortex phantoms. But usually they are hostile and lash out. Anasko is different. If only we could hear his voice, some reassurance that all is not lost. You could hear him. Despite the sightings, none have heard the word from Anasko in all this time, yet you claim to. Do not toy with me. Not about this. If you speak truth, you must prove it. What did he say? The serpent.
Are you quite sure? I was right here and I didn't hear a thing.
It is hard to believe, and yet, the experiment was a secret, even to many of our own people. Truly, you did hear Anasko. You have been chosen. People of House Varun, hear me! We have asked the Great Serpent for deliverance from our calamity, and he has answered us. This outsider has been chosen as the most unlikely vessel for the Great Serpent's divine provenance, and she will help save us all. Outsider, please. There is no denying you have been sent here as a sign. You must help us. But there are precepts that must be followed, principles that must be obeyed. Even in these dire circumstances, we cannot turn from Jinan Varun's teachings. You will be granted safe passage through Dazra and the lands beyond. No harm will come to you. On that, you have my word. You even have my assurance that your compatriot here will also remain unharmed. But to truly aid us, you must become part of House Varun. This is not a thing done lightly, and it cannot be taken back. Will you commit to helping us by becoming one of the promised? Excellent. Please, come with me. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I am Malibor Dulkev, a member of the High Council of House Varun. I have been asked to represent the Council in this moment. Please, enter our city. You have my word that you will not be harmed. I would ask that until you have become promised, you avoid the citizens of Dazra. They are not used to outsiders. Open the gate! I must temper what I revealed for now, but surely you saw the Scaled Citadel as you arrived. It was the center of an explosion of sorts that has annihilated most of our city. We have lost many of our brothers and sisters. I believe we are still in danger.
Counselor, what is the meaning of this?
Is there a problem, Makula?
The city is in shambles, the speaker is missing, and here you are leading some outsider through our sacred space? Why allow this husk to defile our city? Have we not lost enough?
Have faith. I believe this outsider was guided here by the Great Serpent himself. And soon, Serpent willing, they will be one of us. But I can be sure and pass your concerns on to the rest of the High Council, if you wish. I apologize for the interruption. There is a ritual intended for converts to the Promised that has not been performed in generations. We are fortunate that there are those still alive who remember the old ways and have remained prepared for such a moment as this. I suspected we might find you here waiting.
I saw the ship landing. I knew immediately that I would be needed.
Indeed you are. This is Inaza Kaisir, Herald of the Serpent. She will guide you through the ritual. I am needed elsewhere, but I assure you that you are in good hands.
So, the Great Serpent sends you to me. There is something about you. No husk that walked the Serpent's path. To enter this sacred cave, there is no turning back. You will be forever changed. This is a path you must walk of your own free will, alone. Will you step forward and emerge anointed, one of the Promised? Then enter, and I shall guide you along the Serpent's path. But this is a journey you must undertake alone. Your escort cannot follow.
I'm not exactly a fan of splitting up, but I'm also not eager to offend. You'll just have to tell me all about it afterwards.
The path lies before you, but it is up to you to walk it. I will await you at the end of the Serpent's path. Before House Farouk, there were humans. First on Earth, then scattered among the stars. And like all humans, they were lost souls, wandering in the dark, looking for a path. One particular colony ship housed of these souls. They were each alone and isolated, individual tiny flames that could be snuffed out at a moment's notice. But Jinan encountered the Great Serpent and was given the gift of knowledge. He shared his knowledge with those around him and lit the way for them. They followed his guidance and his light, and they cast aside the burdens of their former lives. And thus, House Maroon was born. Now you too have the chance to cast aside your burdens, to relieve yourself of anything that holds you back. The people's hopes and fears and dreams were entrusted to the Great Serpent. They made the leap of faith that brought House Varun to greatness. You may now follow in their footsteps and take that same leap. Embrace the Great Serpent, and he will embrace you. The people of House Varun settled this world, at first in these very caves. Shinan Varun himself slept among them in these shelters. It was here that he spread the word of the serpent, and it was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of the shroud. The Great Serpent's return. It was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of their place in the universe. He will encircle the universe he created, and all those who do not follow will be cast into shadow. And the people weighed this knowledge against their former lives, and saw how they had been blessed despite the difficult new life that awaited them. You too would do well to feel that solace amidst the pain. Until that day comes, we are the voice and the hands of the Great Serpent. Our every act a sacrifice to hasten his return. Make now a sacrifice to prove your devotion. And remember, whether in life or in death, all must serve. Let us begin the final ritual. While none since Shinan Varun have stood before the Great Serpent, we can all feel his presence. To solidify his bond, you are presented with a simple choice. Before you on this dais are several items. They represent different aspects of House Varun's connection to the Great Serpent. Pick the two that call to you. Place them on the altars. Offerings to the Great Serpent that he may fill you with his spirit and make you promise. And so you arise, one of the promised of House Varun. Did you feel the Great Serpent working within you? Do you feel born anew? Yes, your confidence is impressive. Your devotion and strength will bring glory to the Great Serpent and to House Varun. I grant you the title of Harbinger. All will know you. All will trust you. Above us, in the Grand Ship Morning, jewel of the Varun fleet, the High Council awaits your arrival. Serve them. Serve the Great Serpent. All must serve.
Yes?
You would speak with me?
Welcome, Harbinger. You stand before what remains of the High Council, advisors to Anasco Varun. We are all that is left after the disaster that has befallen our people. I represent House Dulkef. Jamal is from House Kadik, and we are joined by Lovek of House Vidal. We are, all of us, hopeful that your arrival in Dazra and your clear connection to Anasco Varun, for the first time in weeks, represent some semblance of hope. But you do. We have only seen brief glimpses of him since the incident. But you heard him speak. How can that be taken as anything other than providence? Please, just allow us a moment to explain.
By all means, Malabor. I can't wait to see how you spin this.
Please, can we just for a moment...
Can we just for a moment what? Discuss whether or not to allow the first convert to House Varun since before any of us were born? A bit late on that, it seems.
You were not there. You did not see Anasco. It felt different. We have already wasted so much time and...
You're correct. I was not there. Because you elected to travel to the spaceport on your own. And then decided this on your own.
Do not waste time with more bickering. Anasco, and by extension House Varun, suffers with every passing moment.
Of course, Lovek. My apologies. Please, Malabor. Do go on.
Anasco Varun, like his father before him, has relied on the teachings of Jinan to guide us. Anasco wondered if perhaps it was time to seek guidance directly from the Great Serpent, and so sought a means of reaching out.
Perhaps he found the teachings inadequate.
Careful, Kadik. You tread on dangerous ground.
I mean nothing by it. We simply were never consulted on the matter and do not know the full motive.
The point is that a series of experiments have taken place over the years, utilizing grav drive technology to hopefully make direct contact with the Great Serpent, similar to Jinan Varun's initial meeting.
And then something went wrong.
We do not know what happened. We were not inside the Scaled Citadel at the time.
Had we been, we wouldn't be standing here now. We'd be like the rest of them.
A great tide of energy emanated from the Scaled Citadel and swept across Dazra. Much was destroyed in its wake. Those caught in the blast have been left in a state of confusion, trapped halfway between our universe and the Vortex. The Citadel itself remains in such a state. Right there and yet beyond our reach. We can only assume that the experiment is still running, somehow preventing us from entering the Citadel. We cannot get in, so we cannot stop it. We're beginning to lose hope before you arrived. Your arrival and your interaction with Anasco shows that he can still be saved. A plan had been devised to access the Citadel, but the work stalled. Clearly, it is time to move forward with it. The current head of our science team, Ekris, should be in Jinan Plaza down below us, towards the Citadel. Tell him about your experience with Anasco, and that work on the morning device must proceed.
Yes? Did you require something?
Do you know the scientists out at the Mountain Station?
The old married couple? Azad and Shireen, if I remember right. I've met them a few times. They seemed a little eccentric.
By the stars. I wasn't prepared for the sheer scale of it all.
The things they expect me to accomplish. Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir, and given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, Harbinger? Did he now? How magnanimous. But approval is approval, and I will gladly take it. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the Scaled Citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way.
This hardly seems like the time for politics to matter.
Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and every one realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating. You seem fine, and yet you say nothing. Quickly, now. My patience wears thin. My patience wears thin. Quickly, now. You seem fine, and yet you say nothing. Indeed. All must serve. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process. The first convert in generations. The only one to have heard from the Speaker since the disaster? Oh, I think they will listen. House Vetol owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the Speaker, and for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. Yeah, if only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. I know. I have lost friends and colleagues myself. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. Well then, allow me to provide you with a few starting samples. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And, depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Yes, depending on how much trouble you're getting into. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. Well, then you are in luck. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. I do hope you are not questioning the thoroughness of my research. I assure you, they will work. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And, depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Not enough to have prevented it from happening. If I had any idea it was going to turn out like this, It had been Inasco's primary goal for some time. A way to recreate Jinan Varun's encounter with the Great Serpent. Everything we knew about grav drive technology, every scientific advancement we'd made in the last 100 years was poured into it. Towards the end, I was just so exhausted. I asked for a brief time off. Had I not, I would be trapped in there with the rest of the science team. I have never considered luck a real factor in anything. Given the state Dozra's in now, I would hardly call this lucky. But I suppose it is better than the alternative. I left the project weeks before the disaster, and at that point, we were nowhere near ready. Some breakthroughs were made shortly thereafter, and they ran the experiment. And here we are. Just look around. I'm sure you have at least some idea of how much we have physically lost. A huge portion of the city is just gone. And those left behind are struggling. Supplies are limited. There is so much work to be done, and we are all just so tired. I hope that eventually we can return things to the way they were, but we must be realistic. That will take time, and I suspect a great deal of it.
Proceed.
audience. This is exactly the impression we don't want to give.
Ekris has sent our newest harbinger to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry, Jamal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, Elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction. Well, it's also an honor to meet one as interesting as yourself. I wouldn't have suspected an outsider to be made promised. But who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations.
Taking hostages and negotiating? Doesn't sound like the zealots we're used to.
The Zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council or even the reinstatement of their house. House Maleen. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands. Agreed. Which is why I'm hoping you can help. I need you to find the hostages. Bring them home, so the Zealots have nothing to leverage, and Sahima can work with the High Council. Normally I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here. Present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action. And that is where the issue lies. I don't know where the Zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now. On my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit. As long as no physical harm comes to them.
I certainly hope it wouldn't come to that.
See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room. Hopefully, Merrick will be forthcoming.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? Oh, so you're the heretic turned harbinger who thinks they're one of us now. So, tell me, what would a chosen one such as yourself want with someone like me? I'm sorry. Did you say zealots? Why would I know anything about such extremists? Absolutely ridiculous. So much for confidentiality. I guess this means the High Council is still asking Auntie Razma where Sahima is. And if you're here making demands, she obviously has decided to make use of you rather than undergo sincere negotiations. I see what's going on here. On the contrary, I know how important it is to keep that information confidential. I've worked hard to obtain my position with the Zealots. And like I've told Razma 1,000 times, I have no reason to believe they're going to hurt my dear cousins, especially Sahima. So, as far as I'm concerned, that information stays with me. Oh, I don't think so. I think I've considered them enough. I still won't jeopardize my work. Well, it is the biggest variable. I won't argue her importance. Don't get me wrong. I understand what my choices mean. All right, I'll let you in on their location. But remember, you're the only one that knows. If word spreads, I'll know exactly who's to blame. The location you're looking for is Shadow Station Epsilon. It's an old Varun base that they've taken over for themselves. Razma will know it. Let her tell you the details, seeing as how I'm about to be reassigned. Watch your tone. You may be promised, but you're still an outsider.
I wonder if there is an element of survivor's guilt to live in such splendor, or if the residents don't care about the optics.
Good to see you.
I hope Merrick was forthcoming. You must have gotten the location. Ah, yes, the old Varun military outpost. It's a remnant of the Serpent's Crusade. If my intel is correct, you can find Shadow Station Epsilon in the Badlands, north of Dazra. I can send you the coordinates. The sooner the better.
Don't worry. If anyone can bring those hostages back safely, it's us.
Now that we have a rescue mission underway, I'll speak to Merrick about setting up the negotiations. I expect them to be pliable after their last encounter with you. The current plan is to hold them at one of the geothermal power stations. Meet us there when Sahima and the others are safe. Good. Serpent willing. Your timing will line up. I'll stall the Zealots as long as I can, which shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I'd still appreciate it if you could act quickly. Now, Jamal wants an update before you leave. Just don't let her distract you for too long.
Harbinger, a word before you go. Tell me, Harbinger, what do you know about the Zealots? An oversimplified observation, but correct nonetheless. The Zealots are widely frowned upon within our society. They're a remnant of the Serpent's Crusade, days we'd like to forget. Has my dear sister given you any history on our house's relations with the Zealots? I'm surprised she even mentioned that much. Razma would have everyone believe she only wishes to keep an eye on the Zealots, so the Council can make informed decisions. The truth is, she's had this particular group of Zealots under her thumb for quite some time. This is only a problem now because she's lost control. That is the real reason why Razma hasn't informed the High Council, and I'm sworn to silence.
I don't see how anyone could sympathize with such fanatics, let alone work with them.
Exactly. House Khadik already has a reputation for being sympathetic to the Zealots, but the truth is far worse. Razma wants the Zealots to back House Khadik, so the balance of power between the noble houses would shift to us. She's been employing them, paying them in supplies that aid their blind crusade. The Council knows nothing of her work with the Zealots, and I aim to keep it that way. All elders have their own ambitions. I'm certain that's all they see. What none of us expected was the disaster that is the Scaled Citadel. The aftermath is what allowed the Zealots to grab Sahima and the others, flipping the balance of power in their favor. Razma has lost control and is putting House Khadik's reputation and power at risk. And that's what I wish to speak to you about. House Khadik shouldn't be associating with Zealots at all, except on an extermination level. But worse, we absolutely cannot be supplying them with ordnance of any kind. We need to cut ties with the Zealots altogether. How astute. I want you to put an end to any connections between House Khadik and the Zealots. And while my position won't allow me to be blunt, I'll still make it clear. Should the hostages not survive, Razma would blame the Zealots and cut all ties.
And I thought Zealots were bad. Now I'm not sure what disgusts me more.
I'm doing what I must to preserve this house. All you need to get is Sahima's research, which she has with her. I knew you'd be reasonable, Harbinger. You'll receive payment when your work is complete. As you may have guessed, we can't afford any loose ends, and you'll need a cover story for Razma. When you arrived, the Zealots had already killed the hostages, so you exacted revenge in House Khadik's name. See that you do. I look forward to seeing you at the negotiations.
Geothermal plant. There may be a source of hot water underneath here.
Zeroing in on anything useful?
are you? Serpent's Grace, I knew it! I knew she wouldn't just leave us here to rot. It's more than just me. There are others. The Zealots have been using them to force me to continue my research here. They think I have all the answers since the original experiment was a catastrophic failure.
Poor thing. I always associate zealots with direct violence. Oh, these manipulative tactics are new for me.
The original experiment. The one that took out half of Dazra and sealed off the Scaled Citadel. Surely you must know.
Bad luck for you.
To reiterate, it's more than just me. There are others. The Zealots have been using them to... They think I have all the answers since...
Damn it!
The original experiment. I'm sorry. I realize the Elders and Council members may not be properly disseminating this information. I'm not one for politics, obviously. So my theory is correct. Or I should say, the High Council now believes my theory, the better theory, is correct. I knew it! I told them their algorithms and insufficient testing were only giving the illusion of stability. But no one wants to listen to me. Not the girl who put people twice my age to shame when it came to assessments. Of course, this is what it would take for Razma to send someone after me. Negotiations? Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten. I overheard the Zealots mention negotiating with House Khadik, so the motivations are clear. Not only does the High Council deem me important, but Razma needs to remove me from the equation. I get it. But at least now everyone knows I was right. Yes, step 1 is freeing the others. The Zealots aren't aware of how I've been delving into their systems here. I told them I needed full access if they expect me to replicate Anasco's experiment, and I didn't even bother with risk assessment. They think I'm applying my theories to their poor excuse for technology down here. Granted, I could probably make it work if I had to. Right, getting there. The other hostages are being kept just beyond this room. I can disengage the locks to their cell and grant you access to an elevator in the room beyond that will take them to safety. You just have to clear out that area first, and the Zealots down there are... different. Good. Those skills will prove useful then. While you get the rescue underway, I'm going to set up certain guarantees here. I'll meet you and the others outside. Well, you have to. I just need enough time to set up a remote device so I can launch a virus that will render this place useless. Think of it as a failsafe to guarantee our safety. The Zealots would never risk this base or their ships. No way. It's probable that we'll make it, and when we do, I'm handing this over to a familiar face. No offense. Now move it. You've got hostages to free.
be merciful. Has help finally arrived?
Who are you? You aren't a zealot. Who are you? The Great Serpent is merciful. And Zahima? Did you find her yet? I wish it were that easy. The Zealots separated us. Our brethren are still out there. Please, I can ready my people here, but you'll have to deal with the Zealots and rescue the others so we may all escape safely. We'll be ready.
The guards overheard my neighbor forsaking the
This shouldn't take long. Just get to the others and I'll see you outside.
So, where to next?
Just trying to survive.
I got you your favorite. It's too bad things just the way you like.
The Great Serpent saved Dazra from
Oh, if there's one thing shared by all cultures, it's a place to vent and drink.
Harbinger? One wrong move and I called the guards, outsider. What do you want? I do not waste people's time. If you need my goods, you will buy them. If not, you will leave. I do not know what to make of your arrival here. You may have convinced the others, but I'm not entirely sure you are not a foe. However, your credits are worth as much as anyone else's. I will trade with you, but I have no interest in being your friend. Now, what do you want? Your credits are worth the same as everyone's, I suppose.
must have been a vibrant area before the calamity. Now, walking through, I can feel...
Salutations.
What could we have possibly done to deserve
give
this?
you supplies.
What
We are
angered him
stretched
so?
razor thin as it is.
Are a herald, are you not? Is it not your job to help those in need? Why will you not help my family?
If you do not
my
need
children?
medical assistance, please move along.
We have examined your children and found that they were not in immediate need of treatment. Other patients are in more dire circumstances and require
Harbinger?
assistance.
You will not help the children
Harbinger.
unless they are dying. This is preposterous. They are sick and suffering.
I do not like it any more than you do, but that is exactly what I am saying. Your children will be fine if the Great Serpent wills it.
You! Damn you! Damn you all!
Yes? I do not have time to treat you at the moment. Harbinger?
Serpent's Grace, are you a new volunteer? I was told you'd be coming yesterday. Or was it today? By Jinan. What day even is it? Already? By the Herald, you're right. Which means time is at a premium. My name is Vasilis. I am a Herald's assistant. Or I was, until the cataclysm took out much of the city and half of the people with it. Now I'm part healer, caretaker, warrior. The list goes on and on. I would gladly take a fire over what's happened to our city. You don't need Jinan's side to see things are bad. No, bad is the wrong word. What happened here was tectonic. And while the wounded are being tended to, I'm most concerned with those in the city who haven't sought help. What we need is for people to check in on the elderly and the infirm. That is not the way a healer approaches life. It's not the way anyone should. Please, reconsider. You're back. Praise Jinan. But are you here to help? Understood. But I hope you reconsider.
Were our sins really so great? We deserved this.
Oh, it's you. Good. Please understand, I have not been myself lately. You found me at the bad moment. The stress of everything is becoming overwhelming, but that is no excuse to act like I just did. I apologize. And I appreciate that. Now, may I help you with something? Let me examine you. Honestly, I'm surprised you are still alive. Should be no trouble. There. You should be feeling much better now. Please, only purchase what you need. If you'll excuse me then.
I ever see my family.
It has been quite a challenge to keep up.
Head to my crew position.
You are not welcome here.
It is hopeless.
The damage to the city is one thing, but it's here that we see the true cost.
Had to turn away mother again.
Behave yourself. There's already enough trouble in Dalford.
Looks like a museum. The sculptures are beautiful in their own way.
You aren't a zealot. The Great Serpent is... I wish it were that easy. The zealots separated. Please. We'll be ready.
The guards overheard my neighbor forsaking the Great Serpent.
I thought we were dead. Thank you.
The Great Serpent himself must have said.
Thank you. We owe you our lives.
Great Serpent. Thank the Serpent. I thought I was done for.
Serpent has heard me. Thank you.
Oh, this is certain to make us both very happy indeed.
We all made it. We're safe. You did it! It's true what they say. The air really does smell fresher.
Serpent bless you. We owe you our lives. Thank you.
Correction, it's time for you to get back. I'm going to stay back a moment and make sure everyone here is okay to make it back safely. I'll catch up with you shortly. Just let me know where the negotiations are taking place. Have I mentioned I'm sick of people telling me what to do? I'm staying. I'll be there when it counts. Now go.
Good luck. If you need help, you know where we'll be.
The Great Serpent was truly watching over us.
Is your intent to be unreasonable the whole time? I thought this was a negotiation.
We're having a friendly chat, aren't we? It's not my fault you don't find my offers acceptable.
Nah, just the person I wanted to see. Please tell me you bring good news. Exactly what I wanted to hear.
Razma, who is this? You allow any commoner to just waltz in on official business. I'd expect better security from House Kadik.
This is hardly official business.
Yes. And now these so-called negotiations are over.
Over? You'd risk everything after the whispers of a stranger. I demand to know who this is. You think I care about Anasco Varun, son of a traitor? Only a complete fool would expect me to believe this.
It's true, Mihail. And if you don't leave now, peacefully, I'll make sure your ships and Shadow Station Epsilon are made dust.
You... How did you... You're bluffing.
Test me. You think a genius mind like mine wouldn't find a way to hack into every system in your base? This remote device will launch a virus that will detonate systems within Epsilon, and reach your ships as well.
You realize how this may affect future partnerships, Razma. You'd jeopardize our connections.
It jeopardizes nothing. It merely restores the natural order.
The natural order. I could take you all out here and now. You know every one of us is prepared to answer the Serpent's call.
Are you sure?
You launch that virus, and I guarantee blood will spill. What's there to reconsider? No, but it's the death they know is possible. Besides, you think I'd turn my back on the insults thrown here today?
You mean, do we think you'd throw away your life? And the lives of everyone at Shadow Station Epsilon over your pride, Mihail? No. I, for one, don't think you will. And you can't deny our partnerships have been beneficial for us both.
We'll see about that. You'll have to try harder than that. We live knowing our lives may be sacrificed at any moment. The entire refuge? It can't be possible. Perhaps. Any still alive would be happy to die to make up for the shame of losing our most valuable asset. Enough talking! This ends now.
Put that anywhere.
Is your intent to be unreasonable the whole time? I thought this was a negotiation.
We're having a friendly chat, aren't we? It's not my fault you don't find my offers acceptable.
Nah, just the person I wanted to see. Please tell me you bring good news. Good. Now it's my turn to watch Mihail squirm.
Razma, who is this? You allow any commoner to just waltz in on official business. I'd expect better security from House Kadik.
This is hardly official business.
Yes. And now these so-called negotiations are over.
Over? You'd risk everything after the whispers of a stranger. I demand to know who this is. You're no one. Only a complete fool would expect me to believe this.
It's true, Mihail. And if you don't leave now, peacefully, I'll make sure your ships and Shadow Station Epsilon are made dust.
You... How did you... You're bluffing.
Test me. You think a genius... This remote device...
You realize how you'd jeopardize...
It jeopardized.
The natural order. You'll know everyone.
You're so willing to sacrifice your allies at Shadow Station Epsilon?
You don't think they're as prepared as we are? We all answer the call, and if that day is today, so be it. No, but it's the death they know is possible. Besides, you think I'd turn my back on the insults thrown here today?
You mean, do we think you'd throw away your life? And the lives of everyone at Shadow Station Epsilon over your pride, Mihail? No. I, for one, don't think you will. And you can't deny our partnerships have been beneficial for us both.
We'll see about that. The entire refuge? It can't be possible. Violence isn't always the answer. Who says we'll die today? Enough talking! This ends now.
Cast the accursed into the shadows.
I'm sure they had something we can use.
That could have gone better. House Kadik is in your debt.
As am I. I owe you my life.
Tahima, you are a part of this house.
I know. I just wanted to say thank you. Personally. And here, it's the research and algorithm the High Council wants. I'm sure they'll appreciate it more coming from you. I'm going back to check on the others, but maybe come find me when you're done. Great. You can find me at the Great House whenever you get the chance.
We'll talk later, Sahima. As I was saying, House Kadik is in your debt. You've helped me maintain a very precarious balance. And one day it will. But until then, they're a necessary evil. One that we'll be keeping a much closer eye on. I'd appreciate it if you kept this a secret. A fair price to pay for silence. The others involved know better than to speak of this. As much as it disappoints me, I can't say I'm surprised. Jamal's never cared for our view with the Zealots. And she has no love for those taken. But this is what makes her an excellent mediator. You and the rest of our house. Now, I have much to do, and so do you. Ekris and the High Council will be expecting you.
I'm sure I echo Rasma's sentiment when I say this business stays between us.
What?
You do not understand. I saw a Nazco, took measure of his burdens.
Ah, were you able to find Sahima? Perfect. I have no doubt Sahima's work is the key to stabilizing the morning device. If only the others had listened to her, we may not have lost so much of our great city. This leaves houses Dul Kef and Vathol.
Politics can wait. Every moment we delay, a Nazco descends further into the void.
For the last time, faith will not remove the barrier. Science will.
It is the hubris of science that failed you in this moment. We reached out to the Great Serpent. This is his reply.
You claim he has forsaken us?
I do no such thing. The Great Serpent's reply is not an answer, but a question. Are we worthy of his grace? Until that is proven, your works will not succeed. Thank you, Harbinger. But the proof is not in our words. It is in the vision. A Nazco's presence still persists in this world, and he seeks our aid.
Fine. I feel like I've lived this argument 1,000 times, and the only way to move past it is to concede to its nonsense. Harbinger, speak to my sister. Agree to her fool's errand, so that we may continue the work of saving this city.
Do you seek help?